No, 38.
Right, have a seat.
Oh.
Isn't there a way we can get a wide angle, get all three of us in there?
Well, if we move the camera back, and can you do something about the...
Just I'll look better up close, that's all.
Well,
Yeah, I suppose so. So, yeah. Break a chair in, see what we end up with. Okay, we're going. Let's...
alright, so microphone's off, we're recording. Adam's back.
Howdy.
Don't move after I set the camera up.
Oh, I was moving so you could get in here.
Oh. Right, where's me?
No, do you want to flip the screen around so we can see what's going on? Marvellous technology.
So I suppose, as you've been listening to this, and you were going out to do the lawns, which I thought not a real good idea.
Yeah.
Might as well get the dog barking at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, I was gonna to do some weeding. Mom asked me to do the lawns.
Well,
after she comes upstairs, I'm upstairs cleaning the bathroom. She's going.
And going clang, clang, clang.
She's going. Just try not to make any noise up here. But when you finish that, can you go outside and do the lawns?
We have an electric mower that's not very loud.
Oh, not
and
loud.
it's down the front, away from the house.
It's
the only
a
one that needs
lawnmower,
mowing,
folks.
and
Oh, dear,
the
man.
weeding on the other side of the fence.
It's the lawnmower.
Now you had a message for Claudia. Now I should go back to your Christmas present. Claudia's Christmas present. And we all went over to Fiji, and of course the idea was to get you and Claudia over there at the same time, and we'll just have a bit of a wedding ceremony and this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as it turned out, she got over there at on the date when she was 18.88 years old. And this is the numbers for the word thief. It's in 2 verses. And the thief hanging by my side, prophecy, that she was told as a thief on the cross that she had repented on the cross, and I said, don't worry about it, you'll be with me in paradise, right? So we're staying in paradise.
The hidden paradise.
The hidden paradise in Fiji.
Mm.
Sabu Sabu.
And
And when she gets there, she is the exact age of the 2 verses where the thief hanging by my side is spoken about. Right?
And it was on the anniversary, it was April the 3rd, this was
Of the
2011,
crucifixion.
so it was on the anniversary of the crucifixion. How is that for perfection?
So it's a slam dunk, right?
Yeah.
Now, she wants to go off to India.
No, you don't know. I don't know. She doesn't even know. You know. So.
Claudia, all we can say, darling, is come here.
All right, now, you want to continue with this one here? We've got Mary Magdalene, 7 devils driven out. Now what happens is that when a devil is driven out, this is the soul being swept clean and garnished, the person dies, and then when they are born again to the earth as a child, the demons that were driven out of her, in this case Mary Magdalene was 7 demons, they all are waiting to come back in, and they bring with them not only the 7, but 7 more of the demons, because all the demons, because we're talking about the end time, are all the demons of the past. So she only had 7 to deal with, but then there's all the demons of the past that this demons that she's been driven out are going to gather their king, which are the fallen angels, which are the demons destroyed in the flood. Now they're looking for, because there's lots of them, they're looking for an opportunity to move into a person that is going to be close to me, of course, and try and stop what I'm doing. And she was one of my greatest advocates. When I say advocates, what's the opposite?
Adversary.
Adversary to what I was doing. But I had to put up with this type of thing to get us all here. So this is where all numbers come together. We've got Eileen, 8th of November 1942. She was 429 days older than me. And that word is from 433, which is God Almighty. And the demon number 2 I had to marry, which was at 6 Joshua away in Cranbrook. Well, Joshua is Jesus, right? That's why I was arrested when I did the coins. And the whole idea of doing the coins was my currency is the only currency. And they say I was counterfeit. Sure, yeah, right. The coins of the earth are counterfeit. Right? They're not God's coins. So the distance from Eileen there to the second one, Pauline, in kilometres is the same number as the age difference between Eileen and I in days. 4 to 9, which is from Hebrew 433, which is God Almighty. So I had to marry these monsters because they're saying, why, Lucifer, give it your best shot. You can make it as difficult as you can, even to the point where they're going to destroy everybody on earth. Don't matter. I'll come and save it. It's that simple. So that's what the biblical Bible bashers will be able to look at, because they don't believe me. Well, it doesn't matter what they believe. I'm here for the children. So here it is talking about Mary Magdalene healed of the 7 devils. She had to be healed of the 7 devils, otherwise she couldn't marry me at that time. But she soon fell after she was barren for 3 years. Essene tradition, you then take the younger sister. Well, she wasn't happy about that, which is your mother. Right? So what did she do? She set it all up for the crucifixion. Right? So here's a little lady brought to Jesus. Now, there's a lot of people in Jerusalem in those days, and the competition for being Lord was quite high. Look at the life of Brian. So here's this woman taken to Jesus, and Jesus, I'm sitting there, I'm drawing circles and pyramids on the ground in the sand. So they bring this woman and throw her at my feet. Judge her, right? Caught in adultery. They're very caught with me, by the way. And this is where it all come about because of Mary Magdalene, who was the one that who dobbed us into these Sanhedrin and high priests. So now they've got a chance to get me, right? And to get you. So I basically said, well, he who hasn't sinned be the first one to cast a stone. Now there was quite a bit of a hiccup there because the stone come whistling in and beat you right in the skull. It was my mother, Mary. She was sinless, you see.
This is the Jesus joke.
Okay, so now this gets down to the age difference and so forth between her and I, and this is where the 1162.6 days comes in. That's what she is younger than I am. So that's when I met her, 50.14, and that is humiliation made low of estate, low estate, vile, right? Now, she's also very, very foolish, a stupid woman. I've met some stupid people, this one takes the cake, right? Now, I was 53.33 on that date, and this was Mother's Day. And that's worked from the word pharmakos, the same as 5332, the sorcerer. So I'm meeting the sorcerer herself. Right? So that's it. This is what the world is. It's all poisoned by people like her who's too stupid to understand. She didn't poison herself to defy me. Right? I went into the cupboard at the house and I pulled out everything on the cupboard that had shit in it, and it filled this table of all the stuff. And there was only 2 or 3 items that was edible. Right? So this is what it's all about. 7 demons, 7 times 7 plus equals 56. She picked up these 7 demons times 7. Now, her daughter Rhiannon is probably on the verge of being a much worse woman than she is, because she is intelligent. Born on December the 20th, 1979, she's a Sagittarius. Now, she was a vile child at the time. She had a vital part to play, being 2.127 years younger than Nicole. Nicole is the best of my children. Now, she's also a Scorpio. So my oldest daughter is 11.626 years older than Rhiannon. So 11.626 years younger than my eldest Tracy Lee, this is Rhiannon. And then we've got Tracy on the 4th of May 1968. In the same year, all the planets lined up in the year 2000, and my body weight and all of those planets out to Saturn is the same number as the area of the Shroud of Turin, because I'm 222 pounds. I always have been. There's 222 verses in the Bible with the word truth, 222 the word wisdom, and 222 is the word Nazarene, or Alexander, on there. So there it is. You've got the pyramid house laid out. You've got Leo, your mother, down the corner, right? She's 657 weeks younger than I, or 1260 is the number, 12.6 years younger. This is the revelation number. and 657 is the nuclear fusion rate of the sun, and how many lords there are in the New Testament. Then off to the left we've got Taurus, and she was born when I was 8880 days old, and the sunrise to sunset was 888 minutes, and she is 11.62 years, 6 years older than Rhiannon. Rhiannon is 777 days younger than Nicole, which is 2.127 years. That number 2127 is there, of course, but if you look up Ezekiel 21:27, Ezekiel's value, or the name in Ezekiel in the Hebrew concordance is 3168, Lord Jesus Christ. However, 2127 years younger than Rhiannon. Michelle is 1162.6 days younger than me, and my brother is 8.88 years older than I am. So that is the width of the antechamber of the Great Pyramid, 11626. There it is up close. So the officious prophecy is Rhiannon on Sagittarius, a horse with a human body, head, torso, firing an arrow at the Scorpio on the right, killing it. And at the same time, the Lord is crushing it with its left foot, but being stunned. Right? So it's all written in the stars, and there it is. The stinger and the left foot, that's actually in the book of Genesis. The sting and the heel. Now as a child, learning the hard way, I used to run everywhere, so I'm running down the hall, and I slid to go through the opening my father had made into the dining room from the living room. And there was a needle about that long. And it went straight up into the heel. So not to disturb my mother when she came home from work, I went out into the garage and got a pair of pliers and started to pull it out of my heel. And it was about 3.5 inches into my heel, into the bone. So I didn't want my mother to be sickened by it, right? So here's we have on the bottom, not quite seen, Sagittarius December. That's Rhiannon firing the arrow into, so you see here as it goes across, into the heart of Scorpio, and the Scorpio's tail stings the heel as it's being crushed by the Lord figure, which is in the officious, which is taking the serpent, the great dragon, and crushing it. In actual other depictions, it's got the left hand is up on the head, crushing the head of this serpent. So you see that in Mel Gibson's movie when he crushes the foot down on the head of the serpent. He didn't know he was doing that, but he did. Okay, so there's all the numbers again. Now, I was 22.28 years old, which is 1162.6 weeks, which is the width of the antechamber, etc. That's the height of Mount Kosciuszko in metres. Now, your little sweetie told me that Kosciuszko is a published name.
Kosciuszko?
Yeah, she might remember that.
Kosciuszko.
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 Now, it is 169.4 nautical miles from the Nell Street Greensboro home, which is 5813 kilometres from the South Pole, which is the height of the finished pyramid with the capstone in place, and it's on a latitude that is 31680 kilometres around the Earth on that latitude, right, which is Lord Jesus Christ. And the age the Pope was on my 69th birthday, wasn't it?
70th birthday.
70th birthday, 31680 days.
86.74 years.
Which is the number of words there are in the Hebrew concordance, 8674. So I think I've got it covered. The 1694 is how many, what is the word Emmanuel in Matthew 123, which is has a value of 8880, and I was 8880 days old when Tracy was born in Port Alberni, with the sunrise to sunset was 888 minutes, etc., etc., and on the go. We've covered all this before. Now, Michelle's family home, which we also mentioned, was 3134 miles to the pole. That's in Preston. And that is the coming divine judgment of Maranatha. Now, she knows all this and still denies it. So what does she do? I give her 80 grand in 1 year of working when I shouldn't have been because I've retired. And I had a sore hip and so forth because of all these poisons the bloody beasts are trying to give me to kill me. And she gambled a lot. Then when we broke up, she stole everything I had, even my car, right, which was given to me by the inheritance. So that's what kind of arsehole she is, right? Okay, keep it, she's going to hell. Right. Now, was talking before, Rhiannon gave birth to Trinity Lee, February the 21st, 2004. This was 888 weeks after I married Pauline, devil number 2, on February the 14th, 1997. But I crashed the logging truck on the same day in 1978. That's when I went up and I said, okay, you've got to go back again, son. You're God, can't help it. So you're the only one who can save the world. I wasn't happy about that. I want to stay at the hell with the world, right? Anyhow, I had to come back. I had no choice in that. So all these numbers here shows you that from Cook observing the comet of the century, the Messier comet, was discovered on the 8th of the 8th, 1769 by Messier in France. When you add 8 days to that, it gives you December the 20th, 2012, the eve of the Mayan calendar and the end of the date of the calendar's prophecy. Add 8 days to the 30th of the 8th when Cook recorded it on his ship's log to my 69th birthday, January 11th, 2013. Was it 69th? Yes, it was. Now, Rhiannon's eldest daughter, Alaska, born on August 11th, 2001. Now, she had said to me, if you're God, if you're Christ, tell me what the baby's going to be born. I said, yeah, 11th of August, 2001 at 8:53 in the evening. So, bullshit, she said. She comes around there at the day that she's 2 weeks prior to when the doctor said the baby was going to be born. And so she says to me, the baby's not here. Right, I said, the day ain't over yet. She gets in the car, drives off to the farm, and water breaks, she goes in, gives birth at this exact moment I said that she would. The second time around was Trinity. So she says to me, okay, lucky guess the first time, tell me the date of the second birth. I said, no, I won't. You don't know, she says, oh yes I do. I know exactly where and when. Turns out that when the second baby was born was those numbers before, which I'll go back to. Where is it? Doesn't matter, look it up yourself. Which is the 21st of February in 2004, and add 8.888 years to that is my birthday in 1971 or 69, one of the other, I forget. So the name Mary in Hebrew was 4813, which is rebellious. Martha was my wife then and now. That's why I had to go back, repeat the history. However, when little sweetie here comes along, there's 657 5 days between the January 11th, 1944 and the 19th of August, 1956. So therefore, it's a slam dunk. It's 12.60 years, which is in the book of Revelation numbers. And the nuclear fusion rate of the sun, and how many lords there are in the New Testament, 657. So this is the Nell Street address, and I took a GPS and I walked around the centre of the roads all the way around. It's 888 metres. It's on a latitude that is 31680 around the Earth, Lord Jesus Christ in Greek, and it's 5813 from the South Pole. Now if you take from where I was born, or rather the house I grew up in, either way it's a straight line, drop down to the ocean, put a waypoint there, at the latitude which is 31680 around the Earth, then measure inwards, it's 537 kilometres, which is the distance in to the far wall of the King's Chamber from the Great Step. We've done that before. And from the South Pole to that location where I was born, 3877 is how many times the word God is found in verse total, which is 4443 times in those 3877 verses. Okay. And that is that again. Just a reminder. April 5th, 1943, all the planets line up. This is my conception date, which is 1910 years after the crucifixion resurrection date. We have Saturn lined up with Mercury and Mars. We have Mars through the Sun to Jupiter. We have Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Pluto. We have Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune. All those are the relevant numbers there. You read all those into concordant numbers and it gives you another astounding series of miracles. This is the date I was born, measuring from Jupiter. Why? Because it's 88,800 miles across, and When you go to Venus, and then the Sun, and Mercury, the Earth, and Mars, and Saturn, they all add up to 3168 in astronomical units, which is Lord Jesus Christ. And the sunrise to moonrise on January the 11th and 1944 in Sydney only, because the further north you go or the further south you go, the numbers change. And that is a very rare event when you have the sunrise to moonrise at 888 minutes. It doesn't happen again. It happened once before, which is 17th of June 2 BC over Bethlehem when I was born as Jesus. So there's your numbers again, showing another view of it. If you take the numbers from Jupiter out to Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, a total of 77.71. It's probably within a few hours of being 77.7. So that's how many times the word city is found, ending with the holy city. This is what your mother was into when she found me. The reading of officials out of Nostradamus. So it again shows a crushing of the head, and there's a Golightly shield on the left hand. There's the tickets. Now, this is interesting because the length of this, this is under the temple where they're trying to establish a new temple. And it's 11.625 metres long. Well, I'd say it's probably 11.626 if they want to measure it properly. Right, and that's your antechamber. And then you've got the numbers here of the antechamber width that we bought to go into the grounds of the pyramid. What gives you the shits about going to these places? You buy a ticket in the grounds, then you want to go on the pyramid. You've got to go back to the bloody start again and buy some more tickets to get in there. The dopey bastards.
And much more.
Huh?
Well, that's what everybody says. You got to pay to go through Egypt.
Oh, it's a tremendous rip-off.
I said you can do absolutely anything if you got the money. You can sleep in the pyramids if you want.
Oh, you can put it on the trailer and take it home with you if you want. Want a block of Egypt? Yeah. All right, it could be 100,000 you got it.
Yep, that's it.
There's your numbers, 1162.6. Right? Then you round it off, 1163, and you go one less. You can't have it any other way, right? Then you got 80, 80 and 80 for the pounds to get into it, and so you got 888. Now this is what I was talking about before, the 537 inches. Now if you go from the Great Red Step there, and to the far wall, there's 537, plus a little bit. And if you then measure from the King's Coffer to the wall on either side of the King's Chamber, it is 5813, which is the distance in kilometres from Nell Street address to the South Pole. And we've got the number that also comes up, the marriage to Lucifer, of course, is the 1162.6 weeks, and then the age difference between Michelle and I, and the age difference between Rhiannon and my eldest daughter. So, the word Lord is found in 182 verses of the book of Genesis, and we subtract the 1586 of the Torah, which leaves 1404, which is the word dragon. That is why the 4 verses that are in the Torah, which they rave on about it being the word of God, like we've got astronographers lined up behind Moses wandering around the desert for 40 years, right, writing down every word that this idiot's supposed to be saying as the Lord is constantly yapping at him. Yet as Jesus said, no one's seen God, no one's talked to God. If you've seen God, you've seen me. If you've seen me, you've seen God. So it's all bullshit what Moses is on about. And that's what this is all about. It's a Babylonian invented sacred people, the chosen race. Now it goes on to Revelation, and his tail drew a third part of heaven, right? So look at that in a moment. Except the Lord has shortened these days, no flesh will be saved. That's Fukushima. Right? So we've got the 1586, how many times the word Lord is found in the Torah. Then we've got the middle voice from 1537 and 304. Primary sense, make choice, choose out, chosen, the chosen people. They chose themselves, right? And it ends at 34:11 at 1586. Subtract the 182 verses in the book of Genesis, because that's genuine, and you end up with the number 1404, which is Greek as a dragon. So here we have the 454.5, the pyramid height, and he laid hold of the dragon. That's referring to now. The Revelation is all about now. It's not about then. He's talking of the future. Okay? So we got, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Unfortunately for them, no, it is totally destroyed. It ain't coming back ever. The English gematria is 909. That is, when you divide by 2, is 454.5 at perimeter height. So the dragon, Greek dictionary 1404, drakon, On is where the city of the devil was, probably from an alternative root of, they're having a look here, a fabulous kind of serpent perhaps, as supposed to be the fascinating dragon. Now there are 13 verses with the word dragon. 1404 times 13 is that number there, 18252 / 3652424 gives you 49.972292 if you're taking that as being days. Rounded to 500, which is Antichrist. That's the closest you can get to the number. So the mathematics doesn't matter, you can't get closer than that number. Then 15, 18, 5, 252, 18, 252. So Antichrist. That's what we've got in the Pope now. The opponent of the Christ. Because he was told by a Pope that I've met Christ. Right then, he was still Pope until the next Pope steps into his shoes, right? Doesn't matter if he's so retired and is official and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean a thing. He's Pope until the next Pope takes over. So, during that time, before the conclave, Benedict was saying, I've met Christ. Right then, all of the people that were going into the conclave, these assholes that are going to vote on it, all had been told that Christ is backed by Benedict. You had done all that.
Yes, yes.
Now, the latitude of my first wife is 33.23 at her home, and that number is Messiah. That's how she plays a part in it, right? Very reluctantly, but it doesn't matter what she thinks. So this is an answer to a mystery question. Who painted Mary and Jesus in this next slide? Hitler. If you look up to the right there, you'll see the Ark of the Covenant coming down. They were highlighted in reverse there. Got a crown of flowers. What's that? Essene. He knew Jesus was an Essene. Mm. So that's why they attack him so constantly. Right? The man was a saint. And what the people think of the word, I don't care. Okay, you want to carry on now? I get a bit lost here.
Okay, Jeremiah 3:16, and it shall come to pass, when ye be multiplied and increased in the land in those days, saith the Lord, they shall be no more the ark of the covenant of the Lord, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done any more. Greek Dictionary 316, necessary, by implication, close of kin, near, necessary, necessity, needful. 318 from 303 in the base of 43, constraint, by implication, distress. Distress, must, needs, of necessity, needeth, needful. So Nebuchadnezzar's army lays siege to Jerusalem in 586 BC. His army built a blockade outside the range of the catapults. Jeremiah warned his grandson, King Zedekiah, not to defy Babylon. He refused to listen to Jeremiah, and during the latter months of the 18th-month siege, knowing the situation was hopeless, Jeremiah moved the ark, that's the Ark of the Covenant, to the vast cave system under Jerusalem, sealing it off. Zedekiah finally turned on his grandfather, throwing him into a dungeon. When the city fell, Nebuchadnezzar released Jeremiah and murdered Zedekiah's 4 young sons, but he spared his daughters. Then took Zedekiah to Babylon. Blinded, he died in a dungeon. Now the Ark of the Covenant was discovered by Ron Wyatt on the 6th of January 1982 in what he said was Jeremiah's grotto. At that moment in time when it was discovered, it was 2 p.m. in the afternoon, I was 1982 weeks old. All heads of state, including the Queen, we've switched to Bohemian Grove now for those listening. All heads of state, including the Queen, have visited the Bohemian Grove in California. It is 3,091 nautical miles from the North Pole. 3091 in Greek is Lot. The father of the two daughters he led out of Sodom, then in a cave, because they got him drunk, had sex with them, and these became the Ammonite and the Moabite nations.
Now how dumb is that? They're carrying a 45-gallon drum of bloody beer with them, they're getting pissed. And they're running out of Sodom after it's being destroyed. No, it's just a story, right? But this they take it seriously, right? The Queen has been there, Arnold Schwarzenegger's been there, all of the presidents go there. And this is a sacrifice to Moloch.
That's where they came up with the idea for the atom bomb.
Sacrifice by fire.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there's the blue line coming down that shows you where it is on the California coast, just above San Francisco. Have you been to San Francisco? You know what I'm talking about.
And sorry, just to go into it one more with Bohemian Grove, 2000, you had the cremation of care right before 9/11.
Yeah.
Cremation of care.
That's what everybody has been saying, that nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Well, that's what you see. That's the whole, Madame Blavatsky New Age philosophy that's being imparted on people, even though they're not willing taking it in. Like it's basically the lawlessness of the universe. Nothing guided by moral and nothing guided by sin. It's all sinless. Everything. There is no universal law, right? And that's what the cremation of care would have been about. Now, these people, the reason why they're able, you think, why would they be able to? How could you sacrifice a child? How could you kill 3,000 people? Well, it's really easy when the way you're set out to think is that, okay, look, if I have a conscience, I have to prove my own strength by proving I have no morale, that there is no sin. So what is the most ultimate sin I can create to show you my strength to the belief that there is no guidance in this universe? It is just guided by me, right? It's the self-empowering that they say, which is, that's what Luciferians say. They say we don't worship Lucifer, we worship ourselves. Yes, it's about the self-empowerment and being able to push yourself to the absolute limits of your consciousness and your moral, your soul's foundation, and basically to rip it away by doing the most dastardly acts and sacrificing children. That's the ultimate one, sacrificing a child. So that's why they do it. It's a self-empowerment thing. And then once you get past that, they're literally living on a level plane in their mind where there is no universal law. There is no God's law. There is no sin. It doesn't exist in these people's eyes, which is do what thou wilt. Become beasts of the land. And that's what they are turning everybody into. And people don't get it. And I was thinking, it's going to be that New Age movement where it's going to be, that new religion that comes in, and everybody's going to be joining it. Just like the Catholic Church with 2 billion people, he could be swinging people that way. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is it's slowly happening with our media. It's slowly happening with the indoctrination that we see every day with our television shows, or everything that you hear that comes to the radio, everything that you eat affects your mind. Everything that you're watching, everything that literally in this lifetime is pushing you towards this carelessness, to where there is no lawlessness, there is no sin, there is no judgment towards someone that is doing wrong, right? There's no conscience. Yes.
Now, of course, is that the Revelation talks of these days where lawlessness increases. Might even not even be the Revelation, but lawlessness increases. Knowledge increases.
Yes.
So technology, everybody knows everything now through technology. And lawlessness.
Well, not only that, I don't even think that knowledge through technology, because people are saying that, we're evolving, we're moving forward. Actually, I see it moving backwards. Yes, absolutely. We may have new technology, but the fact is, you didn't make that. You don't know the circuitry. You don't know what makes A, B work to C. You have no idea. All you know is how to use the working programs. As soon as that fails, you need somebody else to come along and fix it. How to use the calculator, not to work out the equation. So, exactly. I understand, knowledge increasing for the fact that we have the perception of all religions and all understanding and everything.
Well, that's what I mean. It's talking about the knowledge increasing. What do we call lightning flashing from east to west? As he said, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Well, that was 2,000 years ago. How else would you describe cyberspace? That's like lightning under heaven, fibre optics.
Absolutely.
And Heiko did an amazing video regarding the lightning, the knowledge passing from, flashing from east to west. So, actually, if you could find that, do a search on your computer, mate, and find. Pardon? Oh, it's that computer. Okay, we'll forget it. But we can work on that. The numbers on that particular verse: knowledge increasing and lawlessness, as in the days of Noah.
No, won't we? We'll read that one.
All right. So, okay. Back to the Bohemian Grove. It is 7,423 miles. When you measure it to the Great Pyramid in Egypt, which is the altar to the Lord, and this number 7423 from 7411, remissness, treachery, deceitfully, false, guile, idle, slack, slothful. Leading into Amos 5:26, quoting, "But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, and Turin your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves." So this is the Bohemian Grove today. And the star of your God would be the Star of David, that they call. Now, reading about that Star of David, everybody's thinking it's David as in the King of Judah, but it's not. It's a rough David El Roy, isn't it? Back in, 12th, 13th century?
Well, even then, it's in ancient mysticism, like if you look into David Livingstone, right, and all the research he's done. Basically, he's done the very roots of Kabbalism, and it's not Kabbalism, it's the very first form of magic, black magic, right? Mysticism.
Yes.
And his conclusions was, Greek was influenced heavily by Kabbalism, Kabbalah. And sorry, just clear my throat. That's alright. I'll think of it. Where are we going again?
The Star of David and David, who David is.
Well, apparently it was an Arab lad that was on his way to Mecca, and this was way before Christ. This was after the flood, but before Christ. And what it was is there was a stone tablet, and there was this red glowing. And he wrote down the symbols. Now the symbols, a lot of them that they've been handed down through mysticisms and ancient books, and you see them in their mathematical equations and symbols.
Yes. Yeah.
But the number one, the one that opens and controls is the Star of David. It's not a pagan symbol, but it is a ancient mysticism.
Yeah. Well. Now, talking about the flood, because all were destroyed but the 8, and Noah had 3 sons. It was Ham who fell. He was the one after the flood, because they dispersed to go forth and multiply and replenish the earth. And Shem, of course, are the Semites, Palestine, the Holy Land area. But it was Ham that fell. It was on his travels. He came across, again, a rock with the symbols, the witchcraft that had been taught before the flood. And he was the one that reintroduced it into the post-flood era. And then it goes...
And perpetuated what we have now.
He perpetuated into Solomon, who captured all the power from it, used it, and he fell, of course, building temples to his wives, gods, etc., etc. So he was evil. He was a black witch. Solomon was evil, and so the British royal family take great pride and joy that they are descended from Solomon, believing it to be the Christ bloodline. Of course, it is not.
Basically, it's the devil's cheat codes.
Well, it's
to nature.
It's the counterfeit. God always has his, and it was the righteous Nathan, the older brother of Solomon, who was the true bloodline through which the Christ came, round 1 and round 2. So they miss out by a very long shot, and explains the way they operate, everything about them. They are of the devil. So continuing with this.
I'll be back. Need water.
Okay, we've got Greek 739, complete, perfect, Greek 8384 and 303 in the sense of reversal, Hebrew 384. God has arrived. The name of an Israelite also, but bottom line, God has arrived. Now, when you measured in time from when Queen Elizabeth received on the 14th of June 2010 the notice of declaration and claim to the throne of England, which is the throne of David, do you remember?
Yep.
It reflected these numbers as well. It must have been the distance in time until Benedict, perhaps, or whatever it was you measured a few days ago, or from your birth, whatever. It was God has arrived.
Fukushima, March 11, 2011.
Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah. Look, the date down below there. There's 270 days. Now, she's behind it all, right?
Yes.
So we've got June the 14th, 2010.
Oh, yeah, from her receiving
to
Fukushima.
Right, that's why they stepped it up, right?
Yeah, God has arrived, yeah. Okay, moving right
It goes
along.
on and on. So it gets very complex, but for the children of the future, it's got to be there.
Well, that's the dividing line. You know, even the most intelligent mind on the earth right now, it's going to be hard for them to comprehend this. But yeah, this will be the baseline knowledge for kids.
Yeah, it's only difficult because everybody has been taught so much bullshit. They can't get their mind around this.
Yes.
This is really keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
I can get deep if you want to, but you'll never follow it.
Exactly.
I mean, when I say keep it simple, stupid, when you understand the way it is done, so it's grasping the bigger picture first, if you like, and then the details is just in, because all time and space is measured against the rebirth hour time, January 11th, 1944 at 2:22 a.m. And space is measured from the location, 105 Rothschild Avenue, Sydney, Australia. So it revolves around, because you are the father of time. So all things are measured around time and space against those two parameters. So that when you've got that, everything else kind of falls into place. And the size of the numbers doesn't really matter. That's the point with all the decimals and all the rest of it. And then you take it to the tool, the James Strong's Concordance, take the first 4 digits, and what have you got? The truth revealed. That's the roadmap of truth recorded in the creation. Hidden, the book within the book, hidden until that was shown to Daniel. Alright, so January 25th, 1963, a solar eclipse occurred along the 25 degrees south latitude at east 3910, and the distance to the pyramid where it occurred was 3836 miles. Hebrew 3836 from 3835 is white. Found in Genesis 49:12. 49:12, Hebrew is my name, Marshall. In Greek it is 3836 from all directions, from every quarter. And of course the pyramid was white from every side or quarter originally. So in nautical miles, 3331, and in Greek 3331 is metathesis from 3346, transposition, that is transferal to heaven, or translation. The pyramid message, when measured from the eclipse, is its outer layers were stripped, pure white alabaster. They were stripped from all quarters. It was covered from all quarters, its 4 sides. The name Marshall, the Lord, transferred to heaven, and it's in Genesis 49:12, predicting and confirmed in Revelation 19:12, quoting, his eyes were as a flame of fire, meaning he was angry, and on his head were many crowns. He was the most royal man. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. So if no man knew it, it's not Jesus, it's not even Yahweh, it's not anything that any other man knows. And if only he knows it, then he himself has to reveal it. 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, that's the blood of the nations, as they are squashed, and his name is called the Word of God. So it's the man that is the Word of God, not the book. just like round 1. And there it is, Marshall, in Hebrew dictionary.
A superiority in mental action.
Hallelujah! And a parable.
Yep.
So here's January the 26th, 1963, Julian day. You can see it there, 243-8055.13067. So this is universal time. It is London time. And what have we got? There's the solar eclipse, the rise and set of the sun, annular. The eclipse is annular and it's visible in the southern hemisphere. There it is.
Now, I should just add a little bit here. This was extremely momentary.
Hmm.
Right, I'll get to it in a moment. So I've got the date, January the 26th, 1963. The time was 108, this is Australian time. 108 is what? How many times the word ghost is found in the King James Bible.
Now, January the 26th is also Australia Day.
I still come home, Australia home.
So then you...
Here's Jerusalem, the longitude, latitude, over together, you've got 666. The heading is the Shroud of Turin, length 171 inches. Now that's that moment in time there. I've got this long, 25 degree latitude. The heading is 171, Shroud of Turin. That's what it looks like and where it is. It's between Madagascar and Africa, or South Africa. 3836 is what? Genesis 49:12, which is Marshall in Hebrew, and from all directions, so we've got that. I was issued my first passport on April 3rd, 1963. This is the date at the same date when I was in the cross in 33 AD, April 3rd. Calculating from when I came to the earth as the Holy Ghost, who conceived as an embryo on April 6, 1943. The duration of time is 19.99 years from the passport.
And it was 1999 when I started looking for you on the earth.
Right, now look at it in weeks. 1043, which is Gabriel the Archangel. There it is, the document itself, and I entered Canada. I entered Canada on the 4th of January 1967. That's when the Earth is closest to the Sun. Right? And it's also the date that my mother, Daphne, was conceived in Australia, which would be January the 5th. Now it's buggered up. Stopped.
Here, take your seat back. It's much more comfortable.
It's fizzled. Alright, well I might as well end it there because there's something Microsoft is not responding to. Now remember, this is also, I'll let it run because this is interesting. They're watching this. Alright? Yeah. They're thinking, oh shit, this is getting too much for us, right? So they just stuff the computer up so it won't run. So I've got to close the program and start again.
Let's see.
Wait.
We'll press wait. We'll see what happens.
Ooh, we've got 10 minutes to go anyway
Well, we could have a single, huh?
No, well, we could do... Hey, what were the songs this morning? We were... Heaven.
Let's end it on a serious note. No, let's end it on a serious note.
Well, it's not ending. We've got...
Yeah, I know.
So it'll be 5 minutes singing and end on a serious note. What did you do?
You take him too seriously. You do. You do.
Elvis.
Yeah, I knew him quite well. What about it?
No,
I know where you're going to.
Yeah, the song.
What about it? I'm not singing it.
He was singing it this morning.
Yeah, in the shower. It's a little bit different than doing to a live audience over millions of people that's going to say, this is not
it's not live, it's pre-recorded, so let's get that fact sorted. And
are we doing it live at the moment?
We're doing it right now, yes.
It's live
I said at this moment, not live to
restart the program. What the hell?
I said that I'll have to get the computer up there and the pointless and singing in the shower.
Just get a little spy device and just keep it up there, and after about a week's worth of recording, put it down.
Talking about spy
start
devices.
again. Here we go. What happened to you?
About what? Spy
talking
glasses.
about spy devices, Yahweh saying they've got mosquitoes now that can take your blood as a drone, isn't it, babe?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh, they've had that for ages. They've had that for ages.
Okay, well, forgive me, I'm not
Look at this thing. It won't do nothing.
I had that about 25 years ago.
Oh.
Oh, the computer.
Oh, it's gone nuts.
The
It's a
entire
sign.
computer is just
It was
gone kaput.
1:54 when it... Let's stop, it's still recording.
It's another interesting thing how you stop it. It does all sorts of odd things.
There you go, Chris.
Stop.
But I was recording twice. Last week I was recording and then I forgot it. Like screen capture came in 16 gig later, all day. My computer running slow.
Oh my god. That'll do it, Mum. That'll do
Yes,
it.
that will do it.
That
We're
will really
still
do it.
recording on the radio, so we've got 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
What are you reckon, John? Oh, I want to the world to know that the music that they listen to on our radio program is the feeling. That is your own.
Can you play it now,
composition.
John, so we can record it as you...
Oh, it's better to insert it in because it sounds better.
Yeah. He let in. He knows what he's doing.
Yes.
No,
I've been filling it in with all sorts of music and I've made all of it.
Yeah, you've made it all.
well, like,
It's all-
Brilliant piece of music.
It's glorious.
well, when you listen to like the beginning of Red Ice Radio,
Yes.
that's the only thing that kept me listening. I reckon is the introduction. It was like it was one of those really great and that tops it. I like that better. So
Yes.
it gives you that feeling like, yeah, what am I ready for? What am I in for? You know. So,
Yes. Yeah. Mostly comedy.
Now, I'm going to record this a different way this time, see if it works as better.
How many applications have you got running?
Just 2.
2 or 6, 7. That'll do it. And with about 4 gig left on the local C drive, so.
6 minutes to go on. Everybody.
So that's,
Mom's pushing the singing so hard.
Sometime.
Please, for the love of God, hit stop.
The view count is just going down.
Oh, look,
By
they
the
all know I
second.
can't sing. I'm the first one to, that's the, what do you call that, disclaimer.
If you ever hear bearable singing, it is lip syncing.
Alright,
Look,
well,
now, we could talk about these binaural beats that Adam's downloaded. to my
Oh,
computer.
she said it right for the first time.
Yeah,
It's been
binary
binary beats every
Yeah.
time.
Hey, listen,
Yes.
I can work the binary code. You know, I've done that
it
twice now.
recites the whole damn thing.
Yes, I
I've
know,
worked
it's
it
scary.
out twice. The binary code, all the way up to 1 with 100 zeros behind it, which is what a Google is. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I actually wrote it down.
And you
so
come
I've
out,
got
you
it
go,
with
oh,
me.
how you going today, Ash? Oh, 1101110.
I think it's in here. Here it is. This is it. Okay. I arrived at this manually, peoples, for the world to know. A Google. What is a Google? A Google is a 1 with 100 zeros behind it. So, as a binary number, because the binary is 0 and 1, and that's how computer programs are written, I didn't have a clue what a binary was or how it worked. So while we were in Rome, Yar's working on his PowerPoint, I set out to learn how to, figure out the binaries of the decimal numbers. And so I did, once I got into the routine. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm going to work out what a Google is, 1 with 100 zeros. What is that number in decimals? Here is what a Google is in decimals.
Yeah.
It is, get a load of this, guys, 1, 2, 6, 7, 6, 5, 0, 6, 0, 0, 2, 2, 8, 2, 2, 9, 4, 0, 1, 4, 9, 6, 7, 0, 3, 2, 0, 5, 3, 7, 6. Now, if I counted them all up, I'm pretty sure it's 31 digits in that number, and it reads rather like an extended credit card. You've got groups of 4, 4, 4, 4, and ends with a 3. So that's what our credit cards are. Obviously, it's a binary number. The computer is reading the binary number.
Yeah.
But so I worked that out twice now because I left this behind in Rome. So I did it again. Look, there's all the workings out. You can see it all. Now, what is, throw a number at me, and I'll tell you what it is in binary.
63.
63 as a binary number is, wow, I'm going to go back to 63 is 1, 1. It's actually 11, 11, 11. That's what 63 is.
That's why I picked it.
That's why you picked it. So 64, because it's all to do with 8, isn't it? You know, you've got 8, 16, 32, 64, and doubling. 64 is 1 with 1, 2, 3, so it's 1 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's what 1 million is. It's 64 in binary. 65, of course, is 1,000,001. So it's 1 with 5 zeros and 1, and then you repeat it. 66 is 1 with 5 zeros and 10, 1 0, and then 67. Okay, so moving right along, let's get over to, here's an interesting one. The number 123, 123 is 11, 11, 0, 11. All the way up to, it goes on and on and on and on and on. All the way up to a Google. I think we can finish there now, so I'll post this on my Facebook. Who can tell me what this is?
That'll be exciting.
Yes, totally. All right, later, gators.